Well, our season's done. It's not done, but it's done. We went out in the Champions League, and in predictable nature, the news articles are going to filter through about we're looking at this player, that player in the third. The transfer market, I guess transfers can happen on the back burner, but as we know, people, we can't sign anyone to help us in what's left of the season, if there is anything left of the season. And it's like we're battered and bruised, and now we got a trip on Sunday to Anfield. Obviously another season with no trophy evades us, people. But yeah, man, let's see what's going on in the papers and tabloids. Allegedly, Arsenal sporting director Andrea Berta is believed to favour a move for Victor Gyökeres. As things stand, it is believed Arsenal are Gyökeres' most likely destination should he leave Sporting. To be fair, if we was in the Champions League final, which I wish we was, but unfortunately we're not, probably a good time to drop this kind of news. Now, Sammy Mokbel has an article on BBC Sport. He said, Isaac Sesko Gyökeres inside Arsenal summer plans. Now, to be fair, could have had that article last season, really. If we didn't know it came out 4 hours ago at the time of making this video, what would we be saying? Arsenal came close again, but their Champions League semi-final defeat by Paris Saint-Germain means it is 5 years without a trophy for Mikel Arteta and his players. Let's try and skip past, people, man. Let's try and skip past. We all know we've slipped 15 points adrift of the champions. Liverpool 3 games left. At this stage last season, we had 80 points, 13 more than their current total. Whether it's the amount of goals we've conceded from set pieces, the points tally, the points dropped from winning position, there are some statistics that we've got to rectify. And again, it's nice to, for Arsenal Football Club to be back in the Champions League in our second year of our reintegration of it, to be in the semi-finals, actually our first of 16 years, and actually Arteta's second season managing the Champions League club and participating in the competition. It was nice to beat Real Madrid. Nice to have a near enough faultless run. Beating Real Madrid's going to top it off, and we're all going to remember how it ended. And obviously the 7-1 against PSV, the Sporting game, tough trip to Atalanta, if I can remember, a fairly even game against Inter Milan, beating PSG. Imagine if, considering what happened in the league phase and actually the knockout stage of the chaps came to something. But Isaac, as it says, there's a dream target. You're going to need money and then some more, and then some more, bloody more on top of that for Newcastle to let Isaac go. Even if Isaac, I am done talking about Isaac. He is a dream target. I wish we could sign him. Why would you leave Newcastle's project right now? Clubs are not going to put down what Newcastle want. Newcastle just want a trophy. Have to flirt with what I feel is the kind of cartel of the Premier League where the PSR rules are harming actually the likes of Villa and actually Newcastle. So he'd be my dream target. I don't mind Benjamin Sesko. I actually think he's a decent player, but my second choice would be Gyökeres, just purely because of obviously the amount of goals he scored, but also the fact that he's 26. I know Isaac's a couple years younger, and Isaac is a right now here player if we could get him, and I like Sesko, as I just said, but Sesko, it's another one of kind of waiting, a bit like what we're doing collectively in our pursuit of trophies. You're waiting for him to be the finished article. Pardon me, apologies, people. Kind of what you see is what you get from a Gyökeres. But apparently, this will be a significant summer. A new sporting director, Andrea Berta, who joined the club from Atletico Madrid in March, will be a key figure. Here we take you through the club's plans as they stand, pulled together from multiple sources. Unsurprisingly, a striker is top of their list of targets, with Alexander Isak, Benjamin Sesko, and Victor Gyökeres all coveted. Midfielder Martin Zubimendi is expected to join from Sociedad. Arsenal also want a winger, and there are some key decisions to be made on contracts. I think we all want a winger. Expected to join. Expectations lead to disappointments. It was expected that Arsenal would make more of a goal of this Premier League title race. We all saw how it worked out. And I'm not discrediting Sammy Mokbel or Arsenal's intentions about getting Zubimendi. But to me, as an armchair expert, until he's holding the shirt, we've agreed fees, and it's public knowledge, not going to get too excited, man. It's no secret Arsenal want to spend a large portion of their summer budget on a new striker. At the top of the list of Arteta's wish list is Newcastle's frontman Isak. A move for the Sweden international has almost universal backing from those behind the scenes at the Emirates Stadium. Well-placed sources have told BBC Sport that Isak would be open to a move to London, though he is likely to have other options, with Liverpool also interested. All of his suitors are likely to run into the same obstacle: cost. Smash the like button. Let me know your thoughts. There's an acknowledgement at Arsenal that signing Isak would wipe out the vast majority of their budget. So again, beyond the obvious, we can't afford Isak, and to address the other areas. And with other positions to strengthen, a deal for the 25-year-old may be unlikely. Newcastle maintain Isak, who has 3 years left on his contract, is not for sale. Should obviously they qualify for the Champions League, that would add another level of difficulty. Barring anything, we can't see Isak signing for us. But as ever in the marketplace, money talks, and Arsenal have not closed the door on a move for Isak just yet. Sesko and Gyökeres, more realistic in my opinion, are seen as more genuine options. Arsenal have alternative targets to Isaac, namely Leipzig, Sesko, and Gyökeres. We haven't learned anything that we haven't been told for the best part of the year so far, have we not, people? Sesko is a long-term target and was close to joining the club last summer. Arsenal inquired again in January, but the German club were adamant they had no intention of selling, and the Gunners did not want to antagonize them before a potential negotiation this summer. Slovenian international Sesko has 26 goals this season, already an improvement on the 23 he hit last year. At 21, he fits the ideal age profile for Arsenal in terms of financial and technical growth. So he can get better as a footballer and resale value, I guess. But the appointment of Berta has resulted in Gyökeres' stock rising, with sources in recent weeks indicating there's considerable internal backing for a move for the Swede. So we're getting a Swedish striker of sorts, you hope. Despite much of the groundwork having been completed on the deal for Sesko, both players have release clauses, but indications are their clubs are willing to negotiate lower fees. At this stage, sources suggest Gyökeres, who has 38 league goals this season, is the most economical signing of the two, which would give us areas to mix and blend and maybe go a bit more on a winger, etc. Or do you think Sesko is good enough? Would you have Gyökeres? As unrealistic as it is, should we throw all our eggs and budget into Isco? Let me know, Isaac, apologies. Let me know your thoughts, people. But prior to Berta's arrival, there were concerns whether Gyökeres' form in Portugal would translate to top-level performances in the Premier League. So maybe Berta is flexing his muscles, or he's also flexing his muscles and telling them, listen, we need someone right now. I hear your concerns, but this information tells me X, Y, Z, people. Who knows? I'm at the point where I just sign a striker and let's praise or critique him after. You know, if you get Isaac, which is a myth, oh, yeah, should you have spent your whole budget there? Sesko, can he get better? Gyökeres, can he translate? Any other striker the same? But I'm at the point, just get forward in, man. Just get a forward in for us to talk about, like an actual forward, not a midfielder who's playing up front, with all due respect to Kai Havertz and Marino, people. Crucially, on top of them beyond the obvious, costing a lot less, they have release clauses on one hand, and on the other, I guess, however they found this information, sources have said that Leipzig and Sporting are open to being flexible with lower fees, people, in the transfer, in terms of a transfer fee, and maybe how we pay it, people. We're yet to learn anything, people, and we all know he's 27 next season. Now, obviously, I don't know when their exact birthdays fall, but we've seen Gyökeres is 26 and Isaac is 25. I know it's 1 year younger, and you know, as Arteta said, we had more the points we had last season, the year before, win the league this year. Liverpool Slot should have said, have you seen when we got 90 odd points and didn't win the league? Don't really, a year's a long time, but it don't really make sense. Then what's the point with Isaac? Because away from Isaac just being a top quality player and doing what he's doing, if there was a reality where he could get him and they say 100 million, which I hope was the case, would you not have these same concerns essentially, or at least a year from now, if you signed Isaac, you would have that same concern? I don't know, man. It's not really making sense to me, if I'm honest. So it does present a financial dilemma, but I mean, just because you're 27, 26, you can still do it. I'm not saying it's the same, but remember Jamie Vardy came into the Premier League at 28, and all of what he's won and all of that stuff, and he's slowing down this year, and obviously slowed down for a number of years. But and I couldn't answer this, but I guess it's all how Gyökeres looks after himself and all of that. You hope he has a clean run with injuries. Arsenal are also looking to sign a winger. Athletic Bilbao's Nico Williams is a genuine target. He has a 49 million, which translates to 58 million euros release clause. But his wages, would make him one of the biggest earners at the club. Allegedly, Jamie Gittins of Dortmund, formerly of City and Reading, has been linked with us. Much of the groundwork to strengthen the midfield has already been done. Martin Zubimendi is expected to join from Sociedad, a deal largely executed by former sporting director Edu and Jason Naito, who took the role on an interim basis. Jorginho set to go to Flamengo. Apparently, Zubimendi will replace Jorginho. Whoever Arsenal look to sign another midfielder will depend how contract talks develop with Thomas Partey. So does that mean two midfielders or one regardless? Because we miss Jorginho and Partey for the first leg. Depth is the key theme beyond the obvious at this football club. Apparently, he looks set to leave. Berta's arrival has probably signaled a change in direction, which I guess is positive because Partey's here right now, bringing Zubimendi. If this all comes together, Gyökeres is a bit of a right now signing. I'm not sure. Defensively, the priorities are to strengthen first choice centre back pairing William Saliba and Magalhaes to new contracts. We all know Saliba is forever linked with Real Madrid, and Saudi links with Magalhaes won't go away. We're among the clubs to have explored the possibility of signing Hodgson, who has a 50 million release clause. Apparently, Berta has held talks with intermediaries over alternative options, which lends itself to assuming there is not certainty Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes will remain. In addition to the talks with Partey and Saliba, Gabriel and Partey, Saliba, and Gabriel. Arsenal moving to agree a new contract with Bukayo Saka. We all know formal talks opened allegedly in March. Some ITK said he's actually signed it. The process has begun. Early discussions are said to be positive, and amid optimism, an agreement will be reached, which is obviously good. We're in talks to sign Ethan Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly to new deals. Trossard's future needs resolving. He's out of contract, a year from the summer. Apparently, talks have been held over a new deal. I don't know where that's gone there. Saudi clubs are still linked with him. Their intention to listen to offers for Gabriel Jesus has been delayed by a knee injury. The club will also look to let go of Zinchenko. Tierney set to leave. Tavares, Lokonga could also leave. Sterling will go back to Stamford Bridge. So we didn't learn anything there that we haven't already known. This has said Arsenal are targeting 4 targets. So we see Gyökeres, we see Nico Williams, we see Heinsohn. Who's the 4th? And once again, we've got Partey, Jorginho, and Tierney out of contract. Trossard only has a year left. Who are the 4? That's 3. I should have really read it, innit, people? Zubimendi, sorry. So that's Gyökeres, Williams, Zubimendi, and Heinsohn. So everybody's just saying the same things. We've gone over that already. We know Bert's camp want to ramp up talks with Saliba. Reports out of France said that was the case. Arsenal apparently been savaged by the French media. Arteta has been told he's got no plan B, people. And you can see the ratings here, which tends itself to say we weren't good. Xabi Alonso wants Real Madrid to sign Zubimendi. However, the Spanish club see the midfield already well coveted. I don't know if Arda Güler's form plays a part in that. But Real Madrid are waiting for Saliba and Konate to become free agents in order to sign them. How greedy. Again, Arsenal been allegedly given a free run at Martin Zubimendi owing to Real Madrid stepping away. Remember when he was forever linked with Barcelona, people? He has to sign for us at this point. We all know this is BS, but let me know your thoughts. Would you take Kevin De Bruyne, people? And off topic, yeah. I was thinking about this. It's very different. But if Kevin De Bruyne was at Arsenal, would he be consistently playing with like how Odegaard is? And if Odegaard was at City with his injuries and all the things around both players, would they be playing him like this? So I don't know. That's completely off topic anyways. Morgan Rogers has been linked with Arsenal. I have covered this in the last few days, people, so check out them bits and pieces. Allegedly, we want to sign not only Victor Gyökeres, but also Liam Delap. What do you lot think of that? Newcastle have joined Man United in the pursuit of Mbeumo, who we've been linked with. Manchester City are the latest Premier League club, as well as us, Liverpool and United, to be linked with Rodrigo at Real Madrid. Spurs have allegedly joined the race for Liam Delap. Again, going back to the Morgan Rogers stuff, apparently before the 30th of June, Aston Villa need to make one significant sell. We always see that old chestnut since PSR has been getting involved, people. We have been linked with Lee Kang-in of Paris Saint-Germain. Apparently, we tried to inquire about him in January. Real Madrid are not planning to sign Zubimendi as they don't think they'll need him. We all know his release clause. We've gone over that. Real Madrid, as well as Arsenal and Chelsea, have been linked with Jarrell Haito. It will cost 80 million if you pay his release clause for Sesko. We've been linked with Gittins. We went over that. City are apparently trying to get Eze and Arthur Walton. We could do with both those players. Are they players that we should move for, people? I want to see signings at this point. Napoli are the latest club to be linked with Kevin. Arsenal have made an offer to the reps of Liam Delap, as we saw already. And allegedly, Heinsohn of Bournemouth has appointed a law firm to negotiate with Real Madrid. The player is given priority to Real Madrid as he's waiting for a firm offer. Who knows, man? But it's of little consolation to me at this moment in time.
You always just got to when like